Hello and welcome to today's video. My name's ArbieG and today we're racing in the Nations Cup round 5. So we're about halfway through the season and as you might tell from the title of the video and everything on the thumbnail, this is awful. This is really punched me right in the stomach. Today's racing in FIA, but hopefully you'll see why as we go through. But this is the first attempted race, so as you can tell, this doesn't go too well. The first attempted race of 3 races we did. Normally, I actually just show you like the last race, but this time I'm actually going to show you the carnage that I have put myself through today. As we now come round into this is the qualifying lap for this. I didn't record all the footage in the way I normally did, but I have put my best practice up time at the top, which I thought would be helpful to see. So I'm going to start doing that, what my best practice is, so we know how far we are from what we did in best practice. So best practice, I run a 1:39.9, and this is my first attempted lap in the qualifying, was the one I ran best. So we drop into third here, slip down and squeak right, and third is really good because you get plenty of grip as you come out and you can get on the accelerator nice and early and come out of here flying, which we've managed to hit that really nicely on track for a good lap here as we look with a 29.5. So we're pretty much on for our best section, as you can see on the top light, with a 29.5. So nice consistency there as we come through now. And took that turn really nicely. You got to hit the brake marker pretty much spot on there and you'll get a lovely line through. That tight hairpin, the tightest turn on the track. Here you just sort of stay in fourth and throttle around with the brake and the throttle. You throttle around with the brake and the throttle, that's how you say stuff. And then you can come through here nicely, drop down to third, sort of ride it around a little bit, then ease the throttle up as you come through the third apex, and you should be able to come through full throttle as this guy is in pause, so I can go straight through him without having to worry about traffic. And we're now coming up to the final 2 turns, which you kind of take this as 1 turn, but it is technically 2 turns. As you come through here, drop to third, trail brake through to the apex, and then hit this second apex. As soon as you hit this second apex, you accelerate out. Probably could have accelerated a little bit more aggressively out of there, but we're going to come round now and see how this fares us in terms of our timing. As we come round now with a 1:39.7, that's a brilliant performance for qualification to sort of knock 2 temps off my best practice. Really pleased with that. And we're going to jump straight to the grid. We're not going to go through the cinematics in this because we've got a few races to get through today and I don't want to be just spending it watching cinematics. So you can see that is a pole position with the 1:39.7. Really pleased with that. And the next best person is a 1:39.8. So we just managed to edge the pole position. And let's see how this race goes. So we're going to actually just skip forward ahead a bit. We're actually in lap 8 here. Really far ahead in the race. Coming up to the end, actually in 4th place, slipped out a couple of times by mistake, run a little wide here, and this is what we do on this corner here, which for some reason I just come off the brake so early, so early. I must be trying to push the crew cone position, smash into there and spin around. So completely my mistake, messed up, and now got to do a salvaging to try and at least finish in the top half, because I'm quite happy with a top half finish. I know it's really disappointing to have a pole then come out in top half, but you can see we're in 8th place now. 9th, we've just been passed by the Greek there. We're going to skip forward now another lap, and now we're in lap 9 coming around now. Just still sat behind this Greek here, been trying to keep an eye on what he does, and we're going to try and take an overtake here as we get a much better line through there, and we should have a really good exit speed on him as he dodges out of the slipstream. Again, this is just really sad to see someone doing this. Like, you get out someone's slipstream, but not so much that you slow yourself down. It's just ridiculous. But he slowed himself down so much that I've got loads of speed on him. Come on, lovely on the inside there, and we've got a track position. He's sat on the right hand side. As we're going to come through here on the second apex here, then going to come round on the right, and oh, we've taken a hit and we've come off the track there. Fantastic. So unfortunate there. Let's have a look back and see this from his point of view, because this is a bit of a bad one here. He's sitting on the outside here, so not in a favourable track position. I've got track position, so he's going to have to ease back a little bit just to get me come through. So we're going to go down to slow motion now. He's not accelerating or braking, so not trying to ease off me. And he actually seemed like he actually purposely turned into me to tail me off, and I'm off into the netherworld, and lo and behold, not even a penalty. So thank you, GT Sport. I'm not even going to show you the rest of that race. I finished in 14th. I didn't manage to climb up and recover from that. So from pole position down to 14th, absolutely soul destroying. Obviously, I'll put my hands up and say that first spin out that dropped me from like 3rd to 8th was my own fault. You know, just went into aggressive on a corner, but that hit on that last bit we saw the replay was kind of a marker of what was to come, really. So this is a second attempted race. Again, we're on pole position with a 1:39.7, so really consistent in my qualifying. Again, that earns me another pole, so I thought perhaps we can use this to, again, you know, really great to get a race win or something, but really just trying to get a good finish, really. So let's see if we can get this one a little bit cleaner and a little bit nicer as we come through and get away to a really good start there. We're using the TCS at the start there just to give us a good start, and then we flick over to the radar so we can see. So this guy's gone on our inside. He's going to push us to the outside a little bit, so we're going to have to concede a little bit and slow off, or else we're going to come off track. That gives third chance to slip in there, so now we've got to slip back to third from pole. Really hard to hold pole on this place, so we're going to come through, and we've got hit on the inside there really, really badly, and then we're going to come around the inside, and someone's hit us again, and we've come off, spun us around completely, and disheartening. Right back to the back of the race in 17th, and you know what? I didn't even finish that race. I rage quit after another knock on the next lap. I couldn't handle it. Didn't even save the replay, so we can't even watch the replays on that. So this was the last attempt I had at this race. It was the last chance I had. It was the last time. It was 20 past 10 at night. I was already quite pissy anyway because obviously doing so well in qualifying and just getting knocked off like that is really, really hard to take, especially when it's not just not once. You're just getting smashed around, and for some reason it only seems to be me, you know, coming out on the other end of this in all these races, just getting absolutely creamed. So this is the last race of the day. Whatever happens in this race happens. So this is why we've done the cinematic, and we're going to do this like we normally do our races with the different camera angles and stuff, and we can really have a look at it. So this time, let's see how we did in our qualifying. I'm not going to show you the actual qualifying lap, but just where we are on the grid. So first place was a 1:40.2. So if we ran a good qualifying lap, we would have come in pole position again. But unfortunately, didn't seem to get that consistency on this qualifying session. And as you can see, we're actually sitting a bit further back there in 5th place, and we'll have a look at that time. As you can tell, not as good as what we've done in the first two races. 1:40.6. Already done this race 2 times a day. Done this lap so many times. So sick of it. Probably just starting to lose the motivation a little bit. But even from 5th place, you know, maybe the fact that I'm not in first makes me a lot less of a target. Who knows? But or I'm just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But we're away this time. In 5th place, and let's see if we can at least just finish in the top half and at least just get a decent round in and have something to have a positive impact on the DR, as the TR for these last 2 races have taken a little bit of a hammering. So see if we can do a little bit of recovery to get away. As a really bad start there, seemed to sort of just miss the start, and given the chap in the Lexus in 7th position a chance to just sort of take the easy position. But you know, not the end of the world. Certainly nothing end in the race like any of the last one. So we come through these first 2 turns, and let's see if we can get through nice and cleanly and just have a nice race without having to worry about it. So we're going to come through here. You've got a bit of space here, so we can just sit nicely in this area here. And we've got hit again and went into the barrier. And let's have a look at this. So this is the replay of the person behind me, because I looked like I was spinning out, and I thought it was me who span out, but it was actually a knock from him that spun me out in the first place. So he makes contact with me there, which drags me wide, then accelerates harder, hits me again, and I'm into the barrier, and that's the end of my race again. So with this being the last race of the day, we're just going to carry on. I really just wanted to just call it a day and be done with it, but we're in last place. And let's just see what we can do to salvage just something, because really soul destroying day. It would just be nice just to get a clean race in without someone murdering me, but not to be. So we're in 18th now in lap 5 as we come up through, sitting behind 17th and 16th. I've been sat behind these two for a few laps now. Quite hard to get past them because they're having a fight with each other, and when they're fighting each other, and it's really scrappy with them two as well. So we're sitting behind hoping they'll get a penalty or something from just scrapping at each other, but it wasn't happening, so I'm going to have to make a move and see if I can get an overtake. And the problem is when you're at the back of the pack like this, any time it overtakes, people cannot handle it and they just get really upset and swing themselves around, and it's absolute disaster trying to work myself back up through the pack. When I'm already, I don't know if I'm quite rightly so, but I'm already frustrated to hell anyway with the racing we've had today. It's just give people a little bit of space. I know people want to win and all that kind of stuff, but geez. But we're looking like we're going to make our attack now as we sit in this really, really tight position. We're going to look on the inside here as we are just on the inside of him. I actually make a light bit of contact there on the side of him. Might have sent him a little bit wide, but quite honestly, with everything that's happened to me today, I don't know how much I care. And we've moved up to 16th place, and we've dropped those two and left them for the dust. So let's see if now we've got a massive gap, a 4.5 second gap on the chap in 15th with about 5 laps in front of us. But, according to qualies and according to our own race paces, so we should have the pace to perhaps be able to pull this back and maybe climb up a couple more places as we come through now to finish off lap 5 and move into lap 6 of the race. So yeah, I hope everyone can see why just today's frustrated me. It's one thing to, any mistake I do myself, I'll put my hands up and go, oh, I did a mistake there, isn't that bad of me, and then wrap myself on the knuckles and off I go, try and live and learn. But when you just keep getting knocked off at the very start of the race as well, it's just so soul crushing to just try and sort of plug on through and make sensible choices on what's going to happen. But we're now really starting to push up now. You can see we've still got about a 3-second gap on these guys in front, but that gap is whittling down now in lap 8. As you can see now, that really grinding down. They've must have had a really bad turn through there, and place 15 is now starting to drop off, and we've now ground that gap down to just over 2 seconds as we come down now, and we've got sort of 2.5 laps here to try and maybe take these two in front of us and get ourselves back up to 14th, which was the same position we finished off in the first race. And maybe that's where I should have just called it a day, just had that 14th place and say a race is a race. But I think the reason why I kept going at this is I felt like this I got this track well. When you saw, I could have got pole position on each 3 of these races. I had this race, and it was one that I should have performed well on, and that's why I kept coming back to it, going, no, next time it's gonna, there's only so many times you specifically can be knocked off, and I'd kind of not understand, but I'd be a lot less frustrated if, we're going into first 2 corners and there's about 8 people getting smashed all over and they're coming all off and everyone's flying over. But it seems to just exclusively be happening to me, where I'd have a knock so bad that I'd end up at the back of the race. And maybe I sound like a whinging little bitch, but I feel like a whinging little bitch. I feel like I've earned the right to be, so I'm going to be a whinging little bitch about this, because I feel like I could have put in a much better performance in this race. But it looks like we're going to try and overtake now on the inside there. Looks like the German took a really bad line through there, and we just got a nice easy overtake without having to worry really about anyone trying to murder us, unless he wants to have a go at us on this turn. But it looks like he hasn't, and looks like we're now going to have a look at the Spaniard and see if we can find an opportunity to get past him before he squeezes down our pace so much that we allow the German behind us to get past us again. So he looks like he's actually looking on me inside here, but I'll be surprised if he gets past me. And yeah, he's not got his braking right at all there, and we have managed to protect the position. And we're going to now, as I said, try and push up on 14th and see if we can at least just try and salvage some positives from this race by the fact that, we've managed to come through and do some nice overtakes and try and work our way through the pack a bit. But yeah, like I said, I'm after today's racing, I'm pretty disheartened overall with GT Sport. I just, you think you're in the S rank sportsmanship rating, and I appreciate maybe not all happening on purpose and stuff, but I try and have some sort of track awareness. I'm not even talking about the fact that I've just overtaken that guy. You guys saw it, Evs. Having some track awareness and just being aware of what's going on, and you know, people are going to make mistakes. You're going to overbrake somewhere and hit into the side or the back of someone, or you're going to misjudge a corner or misjudge what someone else is going to do, and it's, you know, people are going to hit into each other. It's just part of, you know, a motorsport, even outside of, you know, a virtual motorsport or specifically GT sport. But when it's at the point where just people just like want to win no matter what the cost, and you know, they'll just, you know, barge through you and smash through you. It's just like, why don't you just fuck off and play a Mario Kart, or go and play Forza Horizon, or something, you know, go and play something where, you know, those games are designed to be those kind of games. Don't come into a racing simulator and, you know, play that way. But it's just the way it is. Maybe the answer is I need to join a private league, or maybe the answer is I need to move away from GT Sport and, you know, have a look at ACC or iRacing or something like that to see if I can get some just cleaner races. As yeah, I think today really got on top of me, so I'm gonna carry on with these FIA seasons. I'm going to see the seasons through. We're already at the mid-season, but I think if we have many more days like this, and you know, you ask yourself, what's the point of the sportsmanship rating if it doesn't reflect what's happening to people on track? So maybe this highlights commentary race videos turn more of a general rant, because it's the first time I feel like I've been truly stung by like a rammers on a race. And you know what? If a rammer ruins a race, it happens, man. Like I'll sit there, have a little bit of a, ugh, that's annoying, and then I'll go on, move on to the next one. But when it happens race after race after race, it just really knocks you down a peg, and you just thinks, what's, you know, no matter how good I am at the game, or how bad I am, or how much I'm trying to learn, or how much I practice, it makes no difference if coming into the third corner someone just smashes into the side of me and knocks me off the track. There's nothing I can do. So yeah, that's the end of the race there. You see I managed to at least squeeze myself up into 14th, which points-wise, because the DR's dipped, points is actually worse. We actually got 30 points earlier for coming in 14th, but now we've got 24. And that's the last race of the day, so that's the one that's going to go into the results and stuff, and that's just what we have to deal with, and that's just the way it is, as in the famous words of Bruce Springsteen once said. So yeah, now we will probably have a look at the ratings now. So you can see the standings wise, we're actually moved up 2 places in the Derbyshire area, so we're now in 7th place, but that's due to the fact that now there's 3 rounds that count, so it's taken round 1, 2 and 4 to give us a total of 112. So the round we just done is not counting towards a total at the minute, and hopefully it stays that way, because I want to soon forget about that race. In terms of the DR and stuff, you can see we're having a dip on the DR as expected. 3 races, all of them really poor races, one of them that I actually rage quit from, and 2 of them ended in 14th, when arguably we should have been looking at least in the top 6 or so, especially with those ones where I'm getting in pole. But we've had a bit of a dip on the DR, so gonna have to go away, try and calm myself down, and try and get my head back in the right space, so I can come up and perhaps do some of the dailies and see if I can just sort of get my motivation up a bit more before I come to the next FIA race, or just in general just try and see if we can just count this as a bad track and a bad few races, and hopefully feel a bit better things going into the next one. So yeah, quite a negative video, really what you come to YouTube for, but if you enjoyed it in some sort of weird a cathartic way where you enjoy watching someone in absolute misery, then please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I've been me, you've been you, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright, cheers, bye.